This is the Kia Niro hybrid. Now, hybrids rarely have great fuel economy on the motorway, but this vehicle is a little bit different. That's right, I did a long journey down south and all the way back. What can you guess I averaged on my journey? Well, I'll reveal that a little bit later. I spent the last few days with this vehicle thanks to Kia UK press office, so a huge thanks to them for lending me this vehicle. I knew I was going to like it since I've recently reviewed the Sportage, which you can check out up there, but I hadn't driven a Kia hybrid before and I've been very impressed. So the Niro may be a little bit of an underdog in the hybrid vehicle world. So today I'm going to start with driving the Niro to let you know how that is. We know it's efficient, but is it any fun? So let's take the Niro for a drive. It's got push to start now as standard on the 2 spec, which is nice. Cattle grid deals with that nicely. We are on the 16-inch alloys though on this 2 spec. The 3 and 4 on the hybrid have got 18-inch alloys. The 18-inch wheels will provide more of a sportier suspension, but perhaps not as comfortable. So under the bonnet, it's a 1.6 naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine with an electric motor. Underneath the bonnet, you'll find the 1.6 hybrid powertrain. This is naturally aspirated, but it feels like it's got a turbocharger. It's quite nippy, more so than the figures suggest. On paper, it does 0 to 62 in over 10 seconds, which sounds a bit disappointing, but in reality, it feels really nice and nippy, which is excellent. Now, this 2 specification's got 16-inch alloy wheels, so officially it does 64 miles per gallon. And in the higher specs with the 18-inch alloy wheels, do around 61 miles per gallon official. So this is actually very good, and spoiler alert, I did beat the official miles per gallon on this vehicle with ease, with the aircon on for a long journey. So it's very, very impressive. It's a 4-cylinder as well, so when you get up to those higher speeds, it can even out really nicely. And it also helps that it's a 1.6 rather than a smaller 1 litre or 1.5 litre unit. So nice as well that it's on hydraulics. That's such an uncommon feature in today's vehicles. The battery is small, it's 1.32 kilowatt hours. There's a lot that are double that size now almost, but it's still very impressive and gives great fuel economy as it's constantly charging and discharging as it needs, so that's really good. And it's got a 32 kilowatt motor, which is 43 brake horsepower. So altogether you've got 127 brake horsepower, 43 of which is from the electric motor. So you have that nice bit of torque, so when you do want to put your foot down, you can. Auto hold as well is great. You don't have to turn it on each time, which is nice. It just remembers it, so it just makes driving really easy, and it also isn't too harsh of an auto hold. Some you really have to push your accelerator to get them to come off, but this is just a normal one. You put your foot down, it picks up speed really quite nicely. Now, a lot of people say it's a bit rough, and yeah, it does make a bit of a noise, especially when it's not quite warmed up. I find that's when it's loudest, and especially when you're first taking it up to the higher speeds. But when it levels out, it's really quite quiet and refined, which is really good. There we go, you can hear it does have that little bit of noise, but then it kind of kicks in the electric and you have loads of power, which is great. Suspension's not too bad either. You'd think it'd be even softer on the 16s, but it's still got a bit of feel. It's not like wallowy and going everywhere, but it's still nice and comfortable. I will take it up to higher speeds as well, so you can see how it is getting up to those speeds. The powertrain's mated to a 6-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, Kia's own 2nd generation of it, and it's very smooth actually. So most hybrids have got a CVT, but this has got more of a traditional what you get in a normal automatic vehicle, but it's incredibly smooth, which is great. So you hardly ever feel it changing gear. It's really nice. And then when it can, it'll just go into EV mode, such as now, and it's just on its electric power there, which is excellent. You've also got the green zone drive mode, which will prioritize EV driving mode. The blind spot is a little bit big at the back at the C-pillar, but you've got a nice big back window, chunky door mirrors and big windows, so you normally get quite a good view out of the vehicle. Yeah, that electric motor almost feels like a turbo, just gives you that boost of power, which is great, and it evens out nicely. Whoa, you feel the boost from the electric motor. There is one thing that could be improved with the driving, and that's the regen braking. On the plug-in hybrid and full electric, you have a bit more control over that, but on this hybrid, you don't really have a lot of control. You do have a smart recuperation mode, but you do seem to have to activate that each time you get in the car, unfortunately. The smart recuperation though is very clever, so if you've got a car in front of you or you're going down a hill, etc., it'll regen accordingly what it thinks, but it's not always perfect. I'll put on this smart recuperation now. That should be seeing that Fiesta now if I accelerate a bit, and the recuperation should be increasing, which it is. I'm not touching the brake. There we go. That was quite good, but doesn't come to a complete stop like an electric vehicle. So now coming to 40, you would hope that smart recuperation would see that and slow down, because the car knows it's 40, but it just doesn't. It only does it really if the car's in front. This is pure coasting most of the time, so if you take your foot off the accelerator, the car just keeps on going, which in some cases is good, especially on the motorway, because you know, you don't want to slam on as soon as you come off the accelerator, but sometimes it's nice to have that B mode. So I really like that about the Honda hybrid vehicles, that you can stick them in B mode and be in almost one pedal driving a lot of the time. Sometimes it's good to coast. The vehicles can be quite nice. Like now, I can just keep my momentum going, and then when I want to put my foot back on the accelerator, I can do that. Whereas in B mode, I would have come to a bit more of a slowdown, but it would just be nice to have more control over it, because it's just kind of running away with itself almost. Paddles for that would be good. On the electric one you do, but not on the hybrid, unfortunately. Steering's nice and direct. It's light enough as well for town driving. Driving experience is really good with it. Coming up to national speed limit now, so go 30, 3, 2, 1. Bit of a lag there, like a bit of a wait for it to respond. But yeah, it gets up to speed, no problem at all. That was almost 60 there. And you can really feel that electric motor kick in. It's great. It drives really quite nicely. The revs are always pretty smooth. As I say, when you're first setting off, especially if the vehicle's cold, it can sound a bit raspy getting up to speed, especially if you're not so progressive with it and you just want it to go. Does really see a bit of strain in there, the engine. There we go. So yeah, the engine got up to about 5,000 revs there, and it does sound a bit loud, but really you're getting up the speed you need, which is good. So it's not a big complaint. I think most people will be fine with it. If you like a faster car, you might not like this. I think it's nippy enough, especially the electric motor does give it a good boost. It does have adaptive cruise control, so that's a nice feature as standard. It's a bit annoying that there's no indicators on the mirrors on this 2-spec, so you can't see them when you're indicating. I really like the smooth 6-speed dual clutch automatic. It's very smooth. You can hardly feel gear changes at all, if ever. On 3 and 4 models, you do have paddle shifters on the car for the gears, but on this 2 model, as you've got a traditional shifter, you can shift the gears manually should you wish, which I did in traffic. I put it in first gear so it wouldn't pick up speed too fast and it would stay okay pace. Generally, it's actually quieter than most CVT hybrids, so that's nice. It just sounds more like a normal petrol vehicle. Back onto the accelerator. The engine kicks in very seamlessly, which is nice. If you're more used to a normal vehicle and not really sure about going to a hybrid, I think Kia have smashed it in that regard, because you're not really changing anything about your driving. Obviously, you don't need to plug it in on the self-charging hybrid, so it makes the switch very easy. The lane assist can be a little bit strict sometimes, but you can turn it off very easily by holding down the lane assist button till it goes amber, and then it's off then. It's quite good in terms of width as well. It's about 4 centimeters narrower than the Honda HR-V. Inside it doesn't feel narrow, but that just helps with your manoeuvrability getting through tight spaces. It's just under 1 centimetre wider than the Volkswagen T-Roc, which is a bit of a smaller vehicle. The seats are nice and comfortable too, so you get a good driving position. I drove this on a long journey and it was fine. After about 2-3 hours, I did start to get a bit stiff, but they're pretty good for most journeys. And it is a nice motorway cruiser as well. National speed limit again. Let's see if you can hear the engine. Honestly, not a lot. It smoothens out quite nicely, which is good. The brakes actually don't feel the best. I mean, they're quite nice and progressive, but in terms of to slam on them, it kind of skipped along the road a little bit, which isn't ideal. It could be due to the tyres. These are cheaper Nexon tyres with these 16-inch alloys. You do get better, more premium tyres on the 18-inch wheels, so they should be better. Yeah, when you need to slam on, it kind of skips along the road a bit, which isn't the best. Fuel economy is excellent on this vehicle though. You cannot fault that at all. It's really very good, even at motorway speeds, which really surprised me, as most hybrids aren't the best at motorway speeds. And also the type of gearbox it is as well means it'll sit in its 6th gear pretty quiet and refined, so the driving experience is really quite good. It's a nice car to drive. Here we go. So I've done 664 miles in it and I've averaged 66.3 miles per gallon. That's mostly motorway driving. Kia have gone for a boxy look with the Niro, especially at the front end of the vehicle with these really square headlights. You have this heartbeat inspired LED daytime running light no matter what model you go for. Now this is the standard model in the standard colour, so this is the cheapest Niro you can get currently. You've got halogen headlights, which is not as nice as the full LEDs that you get on 3 spec and above, and that you also get as standard on plug-in hybrid and also full EV models. They do look better. These are still quite cute though. They're kind of bug-eyed, kind of a characterful look. It's something a bit different, which is great. You've got Kia's signature tiger nose here as well, and then just a normal grille down here. As this is the 2 spec, everything is in the matte black plastic for a more SUV styled look, and everything above this spec is in the gloss black, which has a sportier look. Like on the Sportage GT line models, they've got the gloss black bumpers, which look great. Unfortunately, there isn't a sportier GT line trim on the Niro currently. Alloys on the Niro hybrid range from 16 to 18 inches. They start off with these 16-inch diamond cut alloy wheels on the 2 specification, then going up to 3 and 4 specification you get these 18-inch diamond cut alloy wheels. However, you can get 17s on the Niro EV, which I really love the look of. I think those are the perfect wheel, and it's a shame they're not on the hybrid. These 16s though still look really good and give you a good ride comfort. I can't comment on the comfort of the 18-inch wheels because I've not driven a Niro with the 18-inch alloys on. You get Nexon tyres, which aren't the most premium tyre brand, but on the bigger wheels you do get a better tyre on there. To the side of the Niro, again, the boxy design is continued. Again, you've got the matte plastic down here, but that is gloss on 3 and 4 models. You've got clear rear windows on this 2 spec, but tinted on 3 and 4 as well, so that's nice. And standard gloss black roof rails across the range, which look really nice and give it that SUV vibe to it as well. Nothing crazy going on at the side of the vehicle. It's quite conventional and most people like it. You get C-shaped indicators in the mirrors as well on 3 and 4 spec. Instead, on the 2, you get just normal indicators just here on the side of the vehicle, which don't look quite as good. To the rear of the Niro, I think this looks very like another car. Can you guess which one it is? Or what do you think it is? It looks like the Nissan Juke in my opinion, which is good job that I like the Nissan Juke, because I like the back of this one as well. It's just got that very Juke-like look. I made a TikTok about this a couple of years ago and I was like, it looks like a Nissan Juke. It does. There is one thing I don't like about the back though, and that is the indicators on the floor. You can see they're very clear, but it's just not the most practical placement. I would have preferred them in these lights up here. The clever design feature on the Niro is these air blades. So this actually allows air to pass through the vehicle for more aerodynamic. It's got a drag coefficient of 0.29, which basically means it's very aerodynamic. Even though it's got a boxy shape, it's aerodynamic, so they've done some magic. On the Niro HEV, there's only 5 colours available. There is more available on the plug-in hybrid and also the fully electric one, so it's a bit of a shame you don't get as many with the hybrid vehicle. As standard, it comes in this colour, the runway red, which is slightly darker than the infrared that you get as standard on the Sportage. It's metallic red, it's not too bad, it's quite a rich kind of cherry red. I'm not a big red fan, but I have to admit, in recent months driving more red cars, they have grown on me a bit more, but it's not what I would necessarily choose myself. All the other paintwork options are £595 optional extra. You've got the choice of pearl white, which I quite like, nice sleek look. Midnight black, again, nice and sleek. Steel grey, which is probably my favourite of what's available currently, which is more of a silver. And last but not least, you've got the interstellar grey, which is a dark grey. If you go for the plug-in hybrid or electric, you've got 2 more choices of colour, including the mineral blue, which is a nice kind of dark denim blue, and also the cityscape green, which was kind of the flagship colour when the vehicle came out, and it was available on the self-charging hybrid, but isn't anymore, unfortunately. Also, the cool contrasting blades at the rear of the vehicle are not available at the moment either. I quite like those. They're a bit Marmite, but I thought they were quite cool. They did remind me of the Audi R8, but you could get silver with white, and I really like that colour combination. But at the moment, it's just fully one colour, which is a bit more conventional and the safe option, I suppose. In 2024, it had a slight update with different technology added as standard. So the 2 now comes with keyless entry and start, which is a really nice addition. So you don't have to turn your key, put it in, and that's great. And then there's also some more changes inside the vehicle. As for the interior on the Niro Hybrid, well, it feels nice and premium. Last year they gave it a little bit of a bump up in specification as standard, so you now get this 10.25-inch infotainment screen as standard, and also keyless entry and start as standard, which definitely adds to the premium feel of the vehicle. The 8-inch screen before with the matte plastic around it did look very cheap on this standard spec, so this looks much better now. You've got a leather wrapped 2-spoke steering wheel, which is nice with gloss black buttons, but they're all physical and very easy to use, with your drive mode selector on the steering wheel as well. You've got 2 drive modes to choose from, Eco or Sport, and it does remember it, and I've just been leaving it in Eco the whole time. You've got this switchable screen with nav controls or climate controls, which is easy to use as well. You can see a bit better the dash up front here. You've got the 4.2-inch digital TFT on the 2 and 3 specs, and then on the 4 you get the full 10.25-inch digital dials, and also as standard on the EV. They're really nice, I like that more, and you also get heads-up display on the 4, but you don't really need it because you've got all the info here on the 10.25-inch screen, which does look better than this one. But it actually looks like one screen, so it looks good. You can also get Harman Kardon sound system, that comes on the 4 spec as well. But the 6-speaker sound system on this isn't too bad. It was pretty clear, good enough for me to enjoy my tunes, but not amazing, so not too bad. A nice light headlining keeps it bright and airy in here, and that's across the range as well. Steering wheel is synthetic leather, but not too grainy, and also doesn't get too sweaty, so that's nice. It's just a nice material. This isn't a fully digital display that you get on the 4 spec. It's just the 4.2-inch TFT, and then the analog/digital each side with your rev counter and your speed itself. Having the speed off to one side isn't always the best, but I have got used to this. It's quite clear, so you can see everything, so it's quite nice. MG was clearly inspired by Kia with the ZS Hybrid Plus. It's got a very similar look to it, but it gives you all the key information that you need at all times, and then it'll go into EV, which is just a little LED light behind lighting up that EV and ready. So it almost has the illusion that it is an actual screen, although it's not. This has got a gear selector in 2. In 3 and 4 you have a rotary dial, but I actually prefer this chunkier selector. I think it's easier to use. Electronic handbrake and auto hold is standard as well, so it holds the car and you don't have to turn that on each time, so I really like that. You've also got these cup holders which pop out. I wonder where they got that idea from. Volkswagen, but it's a great feature to have on the vehicle. And then you've got this nice armrest which is in leatherette. Kia have focused on using sustainable materials inside the cabin, which is nice. You've got this dash as well, which I was thinking, what car does it remind me of? What car does it remind me of? And then I realised it's my car. My Golf Mark 3.5 Cabrio's got the same sort of dimpled dash on it, and that's what it reminds me of. It's not to everyone's taste, I suppose, but it looks quite nice and it feels just a bit nicer than hard plastic, so that's quite good. There is quite a bit of gloss black, which I'm not a big fan of, but it's not bad overall. These seats, the headrests, are actually some of the only cars that have a headrest, if you like. Most headrests are not comfortable to rest your head on. These are so comfortable, which is really nice. So on the motorway you can actually rest your head should you wish. They're a bit ugly, the plasticky bits of the seats, and the headrests are doing this but they are comfortable. As for the seats themselves, these are the standard cloth seats you get on the 2 spec. Kia have really upped their game with their cloth. A really nice soft cloth, more what we'd expect from European manufacturers, which I really like. If you go up to the 3 spec, you get part leather, so more leather at the sides, so a bit more premium. And then on the 4 spec, it's full synthetic leather, the full seat, with electronically adjustable, which is excellent. They're also ventilated on the top spec, so not only are they heated, but also ventilated. And on 3 trim, you get the heated seats, which is nice. On this 2 model, you don't get any heating or cooling on the seats, but as they are fabric, they're pretty breathable and comfortable in most temperatures. As I say, this hard plastic bit is a bit weird. Another feature which I'm very much in support of is the height adjustable passenger seat. Surprisingly, a lot of brands are getting rid of these, and it's nice that you've got it in the Niro as standard. pop it in reverse. As standard as well, you do get the rear camera and the rear sensors. I personally believe that you should have front and rear sensors before adding any cameras on the vehicle, but Kia add the camera and the rear sensors. You have to go up to the 3 spec to get front sensors. It also, in reverse, is always an electric, and it makes a little noise when you go back. You can hear the noise, beep, 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 the electric noise, because it doesn't really have a reverse mechanical gear. It's just an electric in reverse, which is quite good actually, because it means it's really smooth for manoeuvring, so that's great, and also quiet as well. It also saves over 2 kilograms to get rid of the reverse gear, so all these little things add up just to add to the efficiency of the vehicle as well, which is great. The camera is very clear, as are the sensors, so that's good. It would be nice to have front sensors as standard though, especially as you've got so much equipment on this, as standard like keyless entry, adaptive cruise control, dual zone climate. Front sensors would be nice, but I've coped perfectly fine for this week without them. Could be a bit more exciting in here, a bit more colour and less gloss black, but it does feel nicely screwed together. It's nice and comfortable, so they've done a good job, especially for longer journeys. It's a nice vehicle to travel in. You'll see you've got quite a lot of space. This is very impressive, and also a really nice lightweight parcel shelf. This is because it can actually be removed very easily and folded up like so. I mean, how clever is that? You've even got a bag for it here. It says, do not put anything. I think it means don't put anything on top of the parcel shelf because it's not meant to carry anything. And then voila, it's gone. I mean, that is just such an easy solution, so that's excellent. In terms of outright space, you'll find 451 litres. That's bigger than most rivals. The Skoda Karoq has got a bigger boot at 521 litres, but that's not a hybrid. So this is excellent. It's bigger than the 445 litres on offer on the T-Roc, and it's bigger than most hybrids as well, such as a Honda HR-V, Toyota Yaris Cross, and also the Toyota CHR. So very impressive. It's a really square shape as well, so that's excellent, and you've got a false floor as standard across the range. So underneath there you've got your tyre inflation kit, and then you've got a bit more space. You can of course also lower the floor, but if it's in this position the seats go flat, which I'll show you now. So you can see there the seats go almost completely flat, which is great, maximising your space. You can just easily slide big items in there. It's really quite a big space. It's quite boxy as well, so that really helps too. You do get an electric tailgate on the higher spec 4 specification, but you do have this handle, and the tailgate's surprisingly light, so you can easily shut it like so. That's not a bother at all. There's some cars that are quite heavy tailgates, but this, literally one finger, easy. Backseat practicality in the Niro, well, it's very comfortable. You've got really cushiony bases, which is great. I'm about 5'8". I've got loads of knee room, plenty of headroom thanks to the boxy shape, so that's excellent. Nice comfortable seats. You've got a central armrest, which most cars in this class have got, which is nice. It would have been nicer in synthetic leather like the front armrest is, just to be a bit more hard wearing, because this can get stained quite easily in the armrest because it's quite a high wear area, so that's the only thing. Middle seat, there is a bit of a hump, assist there. The base is comfortable. The back is quite firm though. It's not quite as firm as a Honda HR-V. That's probably got the worst middle seat in the class. If you want to watch my full video on that vehicle, you can click up there, because I think that's a great alternative, especially if you're doing a lot more town driving. So it's better than that car, but there's a lot of other vehicles which provide a better middle seat, because this isn't very comfortable at all. It's really quite firm. Isofix points are easily accessible but nicely hidden at the same time, so you can feel them but you don't need to see them, which is really quite good. So they're nice and out the way, as are the seat belts, so everything stays where it needs to be. You don't have any climate on this 2-spec going to the back, unfortunately, but you do have a USB-C on the side of each seat. You've got a mat pocket on the back of the passenger seat as well, but there could be more. It would be nice to have some air through to the back. You do have a light though in the back. A lot of manufacturers are getting rid of that, so that's nice. So all in all, space and comfort is really quite good in the back of the vehicle. There could be some more nice things. Also, the materials in the back feel very cheap, so it doesn't feel the most luxurious back here, but it's not too bad in the back. So it's nice and light and airy, so that's nice, and there's quite a lot of space. Also, as the seats are quite slimline, you get a really good view out the front. So if you have kids that get car sick, this could definitely be a good option as well. So then, that is my time with the Kia Niro Hybrid almost up. And what did I think? Well, I knew it was going to be a good car because I tested the Sportage last month and that video went down really well. So thanks to everyone for watching that, and I really enjoyed driving that vehicle. This though was a little bit different and definitely surpassed my expectations. Fuel economy has been excellent, with me averaging 66 miles per gallon. It's been really great to see. Comfort is great as well. It's been pretty good. Even on the longer journeys I was quite comfortable. Only after a couple of hours getting a bit more uncomfortable. After a rest, get back in and good to go. There is a few things that could be better, so some materials could feel a bit more premium, especially on the door cards, and it would be nice to have a bit more control of the regenerative braking. I'd also like to see them add some more fun colours to the Niro range, as it's quite bland currently, especially when you're looking at the hybrid, which only has a range of 5 colour options. But other than that, it drives great, it's very efficient, you can put your foot down and it does go pretty fast when you need it to, so it's all quite good. It's comfortable and it's affordable as well. This car here is the starting price of the Niro at £30,270, and I think for what it is, the size, it offers great value for money. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to hit subscribe down below and put your thoughts about the Niro in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks again to KIA UK for lending me the Niro Hybrid for this week. I'll see you in the next one.